Hello, my friends. How are ya? Hiker Dave and E here. Just was taking a little nature ride in my Jeep, driving down some dirt roads. Found this little gem. I believe I've been here before with my nephew and my kids a year or two ago, maybe. But I wanted to talk about something that is extremely controversial. I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments on this video, but that's okay. Well, something else that's controversial is stick structures, tree breaks, stuff like that. And I'm driving down these dirt roads up here in the mountains, finding all these cool little spots. And as I'm driving down these dirt roads, the speed limit's only 25 miles an hour. So it's nice. It's almost like I am, instead of hiking through the woods and being cold, because it's cold up here today, supposed to get down to like 5 degrees to like 0 maybe tomorrow. But anyways, something I really, really enjoy, and I thought of it as I'm driving down the road, and I see these tree like stick leans and these little manipulations that I'll find from time to time, and it kind of hit me what I really like about the theory of stick structures and leans and breaks is that I picture in my mind that at one point there was a Bigfoot or a group of Sasquatch standing in that spot, manipulating their surroundings or making that sapling break, or leaning those sticks in a certain way, or manipulating their surroundings. And I picture them, they were here. They were standing right here. And I think that's what fascinates me, because I do have that theory, you know, that a lot of the stuff that I find out in the forest is done by Sasquatch. And so when I'm in the woods, say I'm walking a trail and I'm way out there and I see something that just doesn't make sense. It stands out. It's not normal, right? It's, you look around the forest and everything just seems to just look so normal. It's the woods. And you see something, a lean or a break, and it stands out. And something that I really enjoy about that is thinking, wow, and this is my theory only, as I'm standing there, I'm picturing in my mind a Bigfoot standing right there doing his thing, right? And now that's not the controversial part, and I'm going to get to that. But it was something that just kind of hit me as I was driving. And I'm thinking, that's so awesome that potentially right where I'm standing and I'm looking at, say, a little teepee structure or something, a Bigfoot or Bigfoots, plural, was standing right in the spot where I'm standing. And which I think that's exciting to me. That, the thought of that. So, moving on to the controversial part of this video. Excuse me, I'm going to hop in my vehicle and I'm going to go keep following this dirt road and see where it takes me, and I'll pull over and stop and along the way, and if I see anything interesting, which I always do. But the controversial subject that I want to get to is Les Stroud, or Survivor Man. If you guys don't know who it is, I would be shocked. If you don't know who it is, I'm not going to explain it. Look it up. Les Stroud, Survivor Man series. It was on Discovery Channel. And recently he's been putting out what I thought was older videos, but I know I'm noticing that there's some of this stuff that I'm seeing I haven't seen yet, some of his commentary. And some interesting things are being said. And here we go. I'm going to say his name, Todd Standing. So we'll let that sink in for a second. So you guys can start, all you keyboard warriors can start telling me how ridiculous you think Todd Standing is and he's a liar and everything. But put that aside for a second. So Les Stroud is out here and he's come out with the Bigfoot series kind of thing, right? And I've watched 1, 2, 3, and 4, and some of the footage I've seen before and some I haven't. But there's some interesting stuff that was being said in the latest video that I saw. And so Les Stroud has taken up an interest in Sasquatch. In the past, these videos from him and Todd Standing are, I believe they're a couple years old. But, an interesting thing that Les Stroud mentioned about some of these prints that they were finding, and they're out in British Columbia. And he mentioned something I've always said, and this is not my original thought. I've heard this before, but it means I think it's just so important to keep in mind. He's finding these prints out like in these mossy areas, and if one single print out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of prints that have been found all over North America, Canada, everywhere, different countries. If one single print is a real print, then there's no argument. Sasquatch is a real species. What it is, I can't say. I don't know that, but something's leaving a print like that. And the skeptics, the people that just are so adamant that Sasquatch does not exist, their argument is that every single print out there is faked. All of these structures and sightings are a complete lie. They're a lie, or they're mistaken. That people thought they saw a Bigfoot, but it's obviously was a bear or something else that's easily explainable. And I just find that fascinating. That would mean that every single eyewitness account of Sasquatch is lying, or they're mistaken. That they're mistaking a bear or something like that for Bigfoot. And I just can't, that's a tough argument to uphold for somebody that is just adamant that Bigfoot does not exist. That, one person out there that saw a Sasquatch, they know what they were looking at. There's hunters, trappers, outdoors enthusiasts that have seen a Sasquatch. If one person is telling the truth, then there's that argument that Sasquatch doesn't exist is kind of out the window. And so, I'm just saying that I know it sounds ridiculous to people that think it's ridiculous, but if you can imagine thousands and thousands and thousands of people all lying, all over the globe, for crying out loud, it seems. I want to show you this. This is interesting, and this is just off the side of the road. That is brand new. Wonder what breaks that. Strange. I see another one right here that looks fairly fresh. Top of that tree is just busted right off. So now getting back to Todd Standing and Les Stroud, okay? Todd Standing made quite a claim. Now, he's made claims before in the past, but this one is pretty crazy. And if it's true, I mean, you know, what I try to do is I listen to a story where I listen to him talk and say what he says and think to yourself, okay, if he's telling the truth, think of the magnitude of what he's saying. So Todd Standing takes Les Stroud, and again, they're up in British Columbia somewhere, I'm not sure, but it's an area that Todd is convinced where this is where he got all that interaction, where he was out in the middle of the night and he was surrounded by like 6 or 7 Sasquatch. They're growling at him and being real aggressive, throwing things at him. He's screaming, get out of here, and things like this. And you know, it seems pretty legit. I mean, he sounds like he's scared out of his mind. Oh, that's an interesting little print. So and of course, Todd Standing never gives up. He's relentless when he says, "Oh, I will take people out live, interact with Bigfoot." Whether he can do that or not, I have no idea. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say I'm gullible, but I tend to try to believe people. Wow, there's a lot of prints out here. And that he has people out there, and, you know, I mean, you know he's making money from it. He's not doing this for free, which maybe is a little suspect, you know. Boy, that's interesting too, huh? So he mentions, I guess, to Les Stroud, something's wrong. It feels like this troop or group of Sasquatch that he normally would interact with in this area are gone. He says it's eerily quiet. He's telling Les, and wow, this is just a mud-filled area. And he says he thinks he knows why, right? Why there's no activity going on in this area where normally this place is just packed with activity, and he mentions to Les that he was out in the area. I don't know when this took place. That Les Stroud was out by himself in this area, and boy, this is just so muddy here. And he was at night by himself, and he was camping. And he said that he noticed during the day where he was hiking that he noticed boot prints, 20 yards away from each other, a group of men or a group of people. And he specifically mentioned like a military style, like sweeping an area or searching for something. And he said that at nightfall, he heard gunfire, a lot of it, automatic gunfire, off in the distance. And it was like there was a battle going on. And then it stopped and it got quiet. And he said he heard a helicopter coming, and it had no lights. He said, he could hear the helicopter. He said it was like in a direct line. It wasn't like it was searching. It knew where it was going. The helicopter flew, he said, right around to where he heard the gunfire. And that the helicopter landed in the woods. What he's saying is that the military, because of the logging industry up there, that maybe that the Sasquatch were being too much of a pain in the neck to the loggers out there, and it was costing people money, or the industry costing them money. in that what he's basically saying is that the military came in, wiped out this clan of Bigfoot. I think he mentioned a net, like it came in, something was in a net or something. I'm not positive. Watch it. It just came out a couple days ago. It's, again, Les Stroud, Survivor Man, Bigfoot series. That's quite a statement, what he's saying. Now, if look at it like it's true, right? Just for a second, even if you're so skeptical about Todd Standing, and I get a lot of comments on that guy's a liar and this and that. Other people, oh no, I believe Todd Standing, and he's a very controversial researcher, and I understand that. I get it, and I've done past videos where I tell you where I stand with Todd. But what he's claiming is he was out there while the military was on maneuvers clearing up this group of Sasquatch. Apparently, right, if you're talking gunfire, that they killed these Bigfoot. A helicopter came in, landed, they netted them, and flew away with their bodies. He said that the helicopter had absolutely no lights on it, which would, of course, point towards a military maneuver. That is a bold statement to make. I mean, the subject of Bigfoot in general is already out there, right? But that is really quite a statement that a team of the U.S. military or a faction of the military went out there, killed a whole bunch of Bigfoot, and airlifted their bodies out of the forest. So I, for one, have always thought that there's got to be some kind of cover-up. There's a group, an entity out there, a group that has an interest in keeping the existence of Sasquatch away from the public. And of course, it's like follow the money, right? I mean, what would be the reason? Why? Who's to benefit from hiding or covering up something like that? And those of you that have been with me for a long time on my channel know that I have said this often, early in my early channel days, that I believe that the government helps to cover up the existence of Sasquatch. And I think a big part of that would be because of the logging industry and the billions with a B, the billions that are generated from logging, just straight logging, the industry. So going back to Todd Standing, his claim that potentially a military group or something like that came in, killed these Sasquatch, airlifted them out of there. It just seems like such a crazy claim, right? It's like conspiracy theory 101. And I love a good conspiracy theory, just like the next guy. But it always had made sense to me. The logging industry stands to lose a lot if all of a sudden in these areas there's a new species to be studied, to protect and all that stuff. So I get it. I understand that part of it. But an interesting, very interesting claim by Mr. Todd Standing that what he told Les Stroud. So getting back to Les Stroud and this series that he's got going on, I find it fascinating because you've got somebody in Les Stroud that is, I believe, to be a credible person. I don't know the guy, not you know what I mean? So, but he really takes the right approach with this subject. That, you know, Be open-minded. I've said that hundreds of times. But the approach he takes is, it's very important to be taken seriously. That you have to have an open mind about this subject. And how he mentions you have to kind of do like forensics, right? When you see a tree break or a structure or these massive trees that all make this kind of asterisk type thing, and follow them. See if did the tree grow there? How they fell and what order they fell. And I try to do that with everything I'm looking at. If I see a tree leaned up against another tree, my first thought is, how did that happen naturally? I think that's crucial to approach it like that. The temperature's dropping, it's getting chilly. But I thought it was interesting. I wanted to make a video because I know that Todd Standing is extremely controversial. A lot of haters out there with this guy. And some of his videos are pretty compelling. I mean, some of it is really very believable to me. And a lot of people, when he gets that video of the really close-up Sasquatch and it blinks, it certainly does look mechanical, the blink. But knowing nothing about these creatures, Sasquatch, you can't go to a reference and say, well, that's not what Sasquatch do. They don't blink like that. Or I read some comments in that video where someone mentioned, oh, the hair on it is just too neat. It looks too groomed. Well, then what did the Bigfoot look like that you saw? Was it ratty looking? Like, really? You left a comment that Sasquatch wouldn't have hair like that. Is that right? So where's your video that shows Bigfoot looking all ratty? You know what I mean? And I just laugh. I mean, I get people that comment on my channel that they are such professionals. They know exactly what Bigfoot sounds like, and no, they're nocturnal, or no, the Bigfoot wouldn't do that. Well, where's your channel? You know what I mean? Put that information out. If you know something I don't, please leave a comment. And you've got facts to back that up. I want to know about it. So, to people that out there that they are adamant, Todd Standing is just a piece of work that what he's doing is he's just trying to fool everybody for fame and fortune. What fame? What fortune? He doesn't have a body to come out with. I mean, if he is the guy that discovers Sasquatch, I suppose he would be, he would be forever linked with the discovery. But why the hate? Why all the hate? I want to say that in the future, if I ever come across a Sasquatch, or I spot something, I don't even know if I want to say anything on my channel about that, because of just the hate that people would just laugh, call you a liar. That's like a common thing. I mean, you got someone who says, I know what I saw. I was right in front of it. It's like, oh, really? Well, where's the footage? And then if footage is provided, then it's like, oh, no, Bigfoot doesn't walk like that. Or no, its forehead isn't sloped enough. I really am, I really contemplate if I'll ever say if I see a Bigfoot. I mean, I think I would be so overwhelmed that I'd probably jump right on my channel and talk about it. but read the comments on some of my videos that I get a lot of waste of time, clickbait, no Bigfoot in this video. It's like, listen, I'm just walking, I'm a guy in the woods. I take people out with me because I enjoy it. I like the fact that people that can't get out have a chance to see some nature. I mean, it's snowing. It's beautiful out. It's gorgeous right now. It's not too cold. It's chilly, but it's the wintertime. I dress for it. It just amazes me that there are a lot of experts out there that are experts in my comment section. But I don't, refer me to your footage. Refer me to what you've done, your research. I have hundreds of hours out in the field. That is not an exaggeration. Hundreds. I've hiked I don't know how many miles. And I still only have theories and opinions. I never state anything as fact. I could say what I think, or if I hear something, my mind may think something, but that's I never once say anything like that was Bigfoot. And that is the issue with Todd Standing. He is so adamant about the stuff that he finds that it's definitely Bigfoot did it. No questions. I was down this trail, just to go off topic for a minute, probably about 3 months ago. And now there's all kinds of stuff on the trail, down in the trail. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Like this down here, that wasn't there 3 months ago. Now, of course, nature, absolutely. I actually think that's natural for sure, as well as this here. This is in the trail. It's just a mess right now. And you can see that this tree here, that tree there came down off of that big old stump. But that, like this kind of thing, Stroud talked about, that you get these roads with these hunters or trappers, they use these trails. And in one of the episodes, he came across a tree like this coming up in the trail, and it was cut. So you've got a trapper or a hunter or someone that's out there that uses this trail and cuts back the log that's in the way. And then 30, 40, 50 feet ahead or 50 yards ahead, there's a brand new tree in the trail. That's a little suspect. I mean, if you ask me. You know, it's almost like, hey, listen, Sasquatch knocks this tree down in the trail. In other words, saying, listen, this is my area. Stop coming down here. Then it gets clear cut. Someone cuts it so they can get their ATV down the road, and there's a fresh tree knocked down right in front of it. It's almost like, listen, I told you, don't come in this area. Just a thought. I thought that was interesting that Les mentioned that. I absolutely love a strong, fast-running river like this. It's so awesome. I think I'm surprised at why there aren't more people interested in this subject of Sasquatch. I mean, think about it. A completely unrecognized species, the possibility of that, it blows my mind. And I thought, I've been doing this, I guess, since before I even had my channel. So probably like 5 years now, or 4 years, I've been going out into the woods, researching this kind of thing and exploring. And I love that. Started hiking heavily even before that. So 6 years now, I've been just ridiculous about going into the woods. I have a problem with when I do something, I tend to go at it at 110%. I can't help it. All right, that was really weird. As I was talking, my phone is at 60% battery. It just shut off. Like literally, the screen didn't just go dim and then go dark. The phone literally shut off. That is very, very weird. I had to like hold the button in and restart my phone again. Very strange. I was talking about how I go at things and I go overboard. I do believe that. With hiking, I just went all in. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on gear. I didn't even know what I was doing. Same thing with painting. I went out and bought paintbrushes and paint and an easel and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I haven't, my mother was a great artist, and so I kind of have that in my family, kind of. My brother is a really good artist. I just took up wood carving. I'm like jump in stuff head first. I mean, feet first. I can't help it. It's something I've always been like that. When I get interested in something, you can't stop me. I'm relentless. And I kind of feel like I'm surprised at that, the love of this, my exploration, that what I do here on this channel. I thought it might wane a little bit. I thought it would peter out. Like that happened to me with painting. I was doing a couple of paintings a week. I mean, I have a pretty good collection of art, and I just kind of fell into something else, and then so on, and that keeps happening. And I think it has to do with results. With the painting, I was loving it. I was, it was a relaxing kind of release. Something's going on with my phone. I don't know what is going on here. And I thought that might happen with my research or with my exploration. And it hasn't. And going on 5 years now, I feel just as strongly about this subject as I did the very first tree break I ever saw, or the very first footprint I ever saw, or the very first wood knock or whoop that I heard. I thought it would kind of fade away like a lot of my hobbies do over time, but I don't know what that has to do with Les Stroud and Todd Standing. It's just something I thought of, and I'm rambling. My phone is acting crazy right now. I don't know if that's ever happened as far as my phone. I've had the screen go dark, and I've had the phone, just kind of not shut off, but I've had the screen go dark and say, geez, that's weird. But I've never had to actually restart my phone before like that. That's weird. Bigfoot did it. Bigfoot. It is definitely getting colder. Whew, my hands are kind of freezing cold. I think I'm going to warm them up a little bit. I am back at my local research area, or my local exploration spot. What is that? What do we got here? Is that a bridge that was built? Get out of Dodge. That's awesome. Look at that. That is cool. I got the heebie-jeebies out here. I don't know what's going on. Look at the little bridge. Somebody built a bridge. That is very neat. For those of you that are just watching my channel for the first time, this is a really cool spot. Out in the forest, there is 1, 2, there's a smaller structure down there, 3, there's actually 5 different structures out here that showed up. I think last winter. I'm not positive. Oh man, that is great. Wow, that's awesome. Somebody took some time and built a nice little bridge. That is great. Very cool. Thank you, whoever built that. That is nice. Whoa, my hands are freezing. I wonder if the people that maintain the forest did that. New Hampshire, whatever, the conservation people did that, because this is where we used to have to cross, and when water was high like this, there's the trail that goes up that way. So that's pretty cool. I'll feel better about that in the snowy months, and I'm snowshoeing out here. I'll be able to walk across that bridge instead of trying to test the ice here, because it does freeze over, but it's running water, so it gets a little bit sketchy. So I had just a couple of points, a couple of things I wanted to talk about too, before I let you guys go. That's my favorite right there. I lost many a marble in this structure. Why? This looks different. It's changed. This definitely looks different. There's been something going on out here. Yeah, this is different than the last time I saw it. So I lost, I think, a dozen marbles in here. At one point, I had a marble return, and I came in here, and there was a marble sitting there. Thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, this is different. A little different in here now. Oh, look at the ground all in this area here. All disturbed. Pardon me. This little structure here seems to be evolving into something different from the last time. Come on, focus. There we go. It looks different. There was my marble rock. Boy, this looks really disturbed. You can see it. I can see it looking into my camera. This is all disturbed. I don't know if a bear was messing around here. Even right here on the rock, it looks like, I don't know, this is all disturbed out here. I mean, if you look around, you'll see different spots where it's just nice snow. I mean, there's not a lot under the canopy there, but this looks, I mean, this is very recent. This is something was walking in circles around here or something, maybe a bear. Wow. I mean, even on that rock, it looks all disturbed there. Very strange. Wow. So I went to Gary's a couple days ago. Went up, was hanging out. We did some target shooting, and just hung around. We had, it's a good opportunity when we're hiking together. We're usually pretty quiet, but I was on his property. We were just doing some plinking, some shooting, and we had a couple of hours we were just kind of chatting with each other. And a couple of subjects came up that I found interesting. Gary was talking about the paranormal aspect of Sasquatch, and it's interesting, very, very interesting theory or way to look at it, because it explains a lot of that. It was there and then all of a sudden it was gone. People that see Bigfoot will claim that it just disappeared right in front of them, and I think that is convenient, a convenient way to say, well, that's got to be why, right? That's why it just disappeared. It's can shift between dimensions, perhaps, right? And so we talked quite a bit about that, and I can't discount that as a possibility, a theory. We talked about how we as humans, we use a fraction of our brain. I mean, there's so much, a large portion of our own brains that we don't even ever use. And it's like, well, maybe Sasquatch has learned to tap into parts of the brain, and maybe there's capabilities that we ourselves have that we don't even realize. And also, then we kind of were talking about the discovery of Sasquatch, and if and when that does happen, and I think it will. I hope it happens in my lifetime, that it comes out that Sasquatch is a real living, breathing species, and I had said, wouldn't it be awesome to be able to say "I told you so" to so many people, especially people that I know, that they smirk and they smile, and I know they probably make fun of me, when I'm not around, like, what the heck is Dave doing, But Gary had mentioned he doesn't want it to end. It's that mystery, the intrigue of the mystery of it. It's so exciting to be out, and you think of the possibility that you're among primate, human, upright, 10-foot tall, massive creature that nobody knows about. And it's for thousands of years, it has been able to stay hidden from us, right? Or not hidden from everybody, because a lot of people are out there that have had sightings and such. But he was saying he doesn't want it really to just, and then what? And then that ends, and it's, okay, Bigfoot's out there, and it needs to be protected as a species. And it's kind of, he was saying kind of like, and then what? Like, that would be, I guess it would be a little bit of a bummer to, all this mystery. It's over. Like, that's it. Bigfoot's real. They exist. There could be actually different species within the species, things like that, that it would be like, okay, everybody go home now. Bigfoot's real. You were right. And I thought, I have to agree with him on that. Half of the excitement, a lot of the excitement about researching Sasquatch and exploring, looking for Sasquatch sign, which is mainly what my channel is. I really, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not looking for a run-in with Bigfoot. If it happens, it happens. I'm deep down. I always say, be careful what you wish for. I would like to have a sighting from a safe distance. I would love to have that the knowing. Like people say, there's believers and there's knowers. I'm a believer. I have yet to see Bigfoot. I've seen some things, but never really got to lay my eyes on it and realize what I'm looking at is a 9.5, 10-foot tall, hairy, bipedal creature. I haven't had that experience yet. And so, to think of that once it happens, it would almost be like letting the air out of the balloon. It would be like, wow, okay, so that's it. I think that's interesting. Tell me what you think. If you are in that camp that thinks, half the fun of this is the not knowing. And that's exciting for me. And Gary is the same way. It's not knowing. I mean, I don't know if that came out on the audio. I heard like a yell or something, or a whoop. I'll have to go back and check that. Oh, hands were freezing. Well, let me know what you think about that. I mean, it's one of them things where it's like you hit the end of the road, and where do people like us, people that do believe, people that do, I guess not people that know because you already know, but people that are really kind of on the fence and enjoy the excitement of what's around that next. That's like, I can hear. All right, I might leave the area. Anyways, leave a comment about that. I'd appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up, all that good stuff. I could still, maybe it's a dog yelping. It's way off in the distance, but there's no homes behind me. This is all forested area. Then there's a huge river on the other side of that. It's all forest. I could hear it. I would love to get to 10,000 subscribers. I don't know if that's going to happen. I've been stuck on, what do I have, 6,705. I have been stuck on that number for, it feels like months. So if you're just tuned into my channel, feel free to subscribe. I put out videos sporadically. Sometimes I'll do 3 or 4 a week. Sometimes I'll go a couple weeks without one, but I try to upload when I can. If I uploaded every time I hiked, it would be pretty boring, but like, share, and subscribe. Well, sharing, I don't know what that's all about, but consider subscribing. Thank you so much, you guys, for clicking. I really do appreciate it, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. I love this place.